Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Now, I have to correct my last video. I forgot to mention that yesterday was the beginning of National Flag Week. You might know that Wednesday is Flag Day, as well as my daughter's birthday, but this is also National Flag Week. So if you do not have a flag, I know that all of the retailers have them for sale. You can go in and show off Old Glory in all of its glory. So, what am I going to do about that? Anyways, today is Jerky Day. So if you're a fan of any kind of, the first word that came to mind was petrified, but that's not what they are, dehydrated meat products, which of course came from our settlers who had no way to store food, so they made jerky so they could travel and still have protein. Today is the day to celebrate that joyful delicacy. I don't know. Words aren't coming to me today. I posted on my page that I was going to tell you about the versatility of shadow. Let's just assume the hypothetical that you're traveling and you land in Dallas, Texas, my home area, and you realize that your customized eyeshadow palette isn't in there, but miraculously one color jumped out of there and landed in your emergency makeup bag. What can we do with it? So let's get started. Today's emergency color and product of the day is Ashen for Trouble. Yeah, it's a cute name. I like the way they make cute names for everything. So what can we do with this? Well, first thing I would want to do is put my eyebrows on. So this is a great shade for filling in your eyebrows. As a matter of fact, I use this most days, although normally I would add a color because I'd like to do a two shade shadow fill in. One of these days I'm going to have my niece Renee microblade these, and I won't have to fill them in anymore. I can just use shadow to add color if I want to. But as you can see, using my handy dandy wonderful brow tool, I love this because this has got the best. Look at the angle on that. Great angle, and it's sturdy. You know, that's what makes the difference. It's real sturdy. It's not loose, so you can do a real fine line with it. So that's be the first thing I can do with my Ashen for Trouble, is fill in my poor little brows. One of the things I do not like about aging is losing my brow hairs, or the fact that they turn gray. How fun is that? Nothing like having gray hair everywhere. Alright, so we've got the phone call that says, hey, meet me for dinner at, what's a good place to go eat for dinner in Dallas? Oh, Three Forks. I don't know if Three Forks is still there because I haven't been over to that part of town. I always wanted to go there, never did get there. So let's say we're going to Three Forks in my hypothetical story, which is a nice place, so I want to look fairly good. Alright, so that's the first thing we're going to do with Ashen for Trouble. Now we can do two different eye shadow techniques, because this one is great for just giving you a little depth. Let's just say that this is a lunch meeting. So we're just going to do a little contour in the crease. Fluff that up a bit. Blend that all out, because blending is the most important part. And because of the natural shade of your lid, you get a shadow effect even without having a highlighter shadow on the lid. Kind of cool. Alright, so that's lunch. We're just about ready, and they say, oh, sorry, we're going to have to do dinner instead. So we can do Ashen for Trouble over the lid, up into the crease, to get a little more of a dramatic look. Blend, blend, blend. A little under the eye for that smoky eye look. And day or night, lunch or dinner, good to go, Ashen for Trouble. Alright, now, because this has been switched to dinner, we're thinking, a little contour would be nice. So, we'll just take our Ashen for Trouble, and right in this little area back here where you contour the cheek, we're just going to rub some in there. And the thing I like about this, I mean, it's called ashen, which means it's not too gold, it's not too pink. It's right there, it's that ashy color. So you can get a contour out of it without looking like you just smeared mud on your face. So now we've got a little more depth over here to say, oh, I have these sculptured cheekbones. How nice. And then maybe you're not liking some of this down here, so we'll do a little shadow down there to contour out the jawline, because I'm getting a little jowl there. I'm not real happy about that. And maybe you've got a little issue with the chin, so we just drill down there, contour that. Oh, and gosh, I'm not liking the shape of my nose today, so just a little contour along the edge of the nose to thin it out. Oh, and let's not forget that we want that sculpted, bronzy look up there on the forehead. So, we've contoured this side, did not contour this side. Coolness. And last but not least, what are we going to do about the lips, the pout? Now, our shadows are wet to dry. So you can use them wet or you can use them dry. However, do not get them wet. Get the apparatus wet. So like if I was going to want to use this as a liner, I could spray my brush with my 10 years younger finishing spray. And then that would make more of a liquid cream liner, which is really cool. But I'm going to use Ashen for Trouble as my lip color. So I'm going to put a little drop of Must Do, you know, one of my favorite products. There we go. We'll just moisten the lips with that. Now, if you don't happen to have your Must Do with you, you could use Vaseline or anything to get the lips moist, or you could go ahead and get your brush wet and do it that way. But because I have my Must Do, because I never travel without it, you know, in my hypothetical story. Now I'm going to use my lip brush and just go on my dry shadow. And create a really nice lip color. How cool is that? Sorry, I'm not actually looking at you, but I can't see in my phone. All right. So, here I have my smoky evening look, my casual day look, and because I never leave home without a lip gloss, I'm going to put a little bit of, what is this one? Grace. Let's put some Grace on there, just because I like lip gloss. Alright, a little bit of Grace, good to go. And I've done my face with Ashen for Trouble eyeshadow. So, don't ever think of your makeup products as just what they're labeled. Lipsticks can be blushes, eyeshadows could be contour, they could be lip colors, they can be whatever you want to. Brow fill in. Have fun with your makeup, that's what it's there for. Make you look cool and to have fun. So, go out and eat some beef jerky. Get your flag for National Flag Week or just Flag Day, whichever way you want to do that. And as always, I am Deborah Felsky, Independent Beauty Guide with Limelight by Alcone. If you want to change your look or change your lifestyle, let me know. Message me. Bye.